Te ale ale u. Te ale ale u. Te ale ale u. Te ale ale u. Te ale ale u.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jim Garrison. I want to welcome you to this monthly community call of our Chartres Academy. As each month for nearly 20 years now, we have been convening in preparation for our next pilgrimage back to Chartres, that sacred site outside of Paris that for nearly 4,000 years has been revered as a particularly potent, telluric, energetic quality of the sacred feminine. This month, we are very excited to announce our next year's program. Before we do that, knowing that many of you are new on our calls each month, I want to just take a few minutes to provide a little background to why Ubiquity University created the Chartres Academy in the first place, and why it is that we'll be returning next year, which will be our 20th anniversary exactly. When I became president in 2005, one of the first things we did was arrange a pilgrimage to France in honor of Mary Magdalene. I had adopted Mary Magdalene and the Black Madonna as the matron saints of my tenure as president of the university. I was very ignorant of what I did at the time, but it was Pila Colorado who had engineered the transition in my life to become the head of the university that suggested that I dedicate my tenure to the sacred feminine. And she also suggested that I head up a pilgrimage that she and Andrew Harvey co-led to the sacred sites associated with Mary Magdalene in France. And that took place in October of 2005. And while we were there, Chartres actually came at the very end of our 2-week pilgrimage with about 40 students. It was a wonderful, wonderful time. And when we came to Chartres, someone gave me René Carado's book, The Golden Age of Chartres. I stayed up till late in the night reading it, and I saw that the Chartres Academy had been originally founded by an Italian monk named Fulbert in 1006. And I realized here it was 2005, and next year was going to be 2006, so it'd be the 1,000th anniversary of the founding of the Chartres Academy. And it was the Chartres Academy and the Chartrean masters that built that extraordinary cathedral called the Queen of the Cathedrals. And some believe that this is one of the most rarefied and sophisticated architectural achievements ever conceived by the human imagination, rivaling the Taj Mahal and a very precious few other architectural masterpieces in all of world history. And it's almost completely intact to the present day. So we decided that we would start an annual pilgrimage to Chartres, and that we would do at least 3 cycles in honor of the liberal arts, because the Chartrean masters had brought, not only did they build Chartres Cathedral, but they took to their highest refinement the liberal arts, conceived 1,500 years before them, in about the 6th and 5th centuries BC, by Pythagoras, Plato, and Aristotle. They sought to bring together into 7 liberal arts everything that was important to know and to be within the harmonizing principles of truth, beauty, and goodness, so that what you knew, what you know, contributes to your moral development. That's how the ancient Greeks conceived of true education. It is not about the acquisition of knowledge. It's about the discernment of meaning. And it's about the transformation, what Plato called the enlargement of the soul. Those 7 liberal arts have informed what we call liberal arts education, although during the Enlightenment, most of the moral quality of the liberal arts was stripped away. So a couple of us had the idea, why don't we recreate the liberal arts? So starting in 2006, July of 2006, and virtually every year subsequent, we've gone back and done, we're drawing to a close our 3rd cycle of 7 liberal arts. And it's been one of the most extraordinary experiences of my whole life, actually, to make pilgrimage to the same place, in this case, in honor of the sacred feminine, knowing that for thousands of years, starting with the ancient Druids who came to this site out of Central Europe and designated the sacred hill of Chartres as the most potent sacredness in all of Europe, where they discerned the qualities of the divine feminine. And that was then embedded into the Christian religion. And the Christian saying that the feminine was Mary, and she'd given birth to a son. But the feminine aspects of Chartres never went away, and it was actually in Chartres that they developed one of the first honorings of Mary and the feminine that contributed to what they called the 12th century Renaissance that took place before the Italian Renaissance. And it was that impulse in Europe to animate and consecrate the sacred feminine. And that's why over the subsequent 2 and 3 centuries, you had hundreds of cathedrals like Notre Dame, built to Notre Dame, Our Lady. And so it was in memory of this that we began the Chartres Academy. And then we've expanded on some years to include a second offering through Madonna Rising, which takes place in August around the consecration of the Assumption of Mary. And we can talk about that in due course. But the basic impulse has been every year making pilgrimage to Chartres, communing with the divine feminine, who serves as a portal to the adoration of divinity itself, and thereby the transformation of our souls. This year, coming up, and this is the announcement. It's very, very exciting. I haven't been this excited in years to announce what I'm just about ready to tell everybody. We're going to be having the 6th of the liberal arts, which is Geometrica. That's sacred geometry. our lead faculty will be Veda Austin. Veda Austin is someone that I've gotten to know over the last a couple of years. She's from New Zealand. She has done the most extraordinary research on the sacred living geometry of water. And that's what we'll be studying. The water of life. Why is water associated with life? Well, Veda Austin has discovered why. Many years ago, she was in an awful accident. Bones were broken and her abdominal cavity was injured, and she was told she was never going to be able to have children, and there was shards of things stuck in her body, and she wasn't sure as a young woman in her 20s how she was going to live her life. And she heard about a man who had a spring of pure water, and that by drinking this water, you could be healed. So despairing of what her doctors were telling her, having tried all the big pharma medications, she went to this man and began to drink the water. And to make a long story very, very short, she was completely healed and then subsequently had 3 children and began to investigate, how is water so miraculously healing? And what she's discovered is that not only does water, like Emoto, the Japanese scientists showed, is receptive to our emotional states and our intentions, but water can serve as a portal to other dimensions, including the underworld and our ancestors. And water is even capable of intelligible communication with us if we slow down enough to listen. And Veda Austin has discovered what she calls hydroglyphs. And she's written several books. I'm going to put into the chat some links to her lectures. But to have the experience of Veda Austin for 7 days in Chartres, talking to us about living water and why water is life, and why water, as they're beginning to discover, is actually the organizing principle of our bodies. It's not the brain. They're discovering it's not the brain. And we got to the brain, and there's the heart, and then there's the gut. But what unites all of it is our water. And our water is connected with the water everywhere. And our water can listen to us. It can talk to us. It can be a portal to other dimensions. And it can heal us. That's what we're going to be exploring in Chartres next year. It's the living geometry of water with the world's foremost specialist in this domain. So it's very, very excited. And we'll put the link to our syllabus. We just made the link live a few minutes before this call began. So you can go to the Ubiquity University website and go to our courses and go to our live events, and you'll see the syllabus, but I'll put it in the chat for everybody to look at. And I really want to thank Katie Amrin, our Chief Operating Officer at Ubiquity University, and Georg Bach, and Kate Timoshek, our graphic designer, and a few others for putting together some superhuman effort to get it all done by today. So Katie, Georg, all of you, thank you very, very much. Okay, well, that'll be enough for me. And there's obviously a lot to Chartres besides Veda Austin. And for that update, I want to turn it over to my distinguished colleague from Persia, Banafsheh Siad, who's the co-director with me of the Chartres Academy. Banafsheh, thank you so much. And Banafsheh is going to tell all of us about the rest of the program.
Thank you, Jim. Hello, everyone. Wonderful to be with you here today. So it's very appropriate to explore water, the sacred geometry of water, just water in general, the nature of water in Chartres, as water is yin energy, it's feminine energy, and Chartres has been, experienced and discovered for thousands of years as holding a very special frequency of the feminine, which those of you who have been to Chartres before or are lovers of Chartres know that it is the frequency of the perpetually expectant maiden. So it's an amazing place where dreams come to reality. It's such a quick manifestation energy that we experience in Chartres. So in addition to listening to the great Veda Austin share about water and the sacred geometry of water, we will also immerse ourselves in the sacred geometry of the cathedral, this 1,000-page illuminated manuscript with incredible stained glass windows. And I'm saying this for those of you who haven't been there. Those of you who have know exactly what I'm talking about. And many, many references and images of the divine feminine in the being of Mary and also Mary Magdalene. So we will explore the sacred geometry of this incredible site, considered the womb of the world by Joseph Campbell, and many others. We will be spending as much time as we can in the cathedral when it is not open to the public, when we can experience the real amazing silence of this grand, grand temple. We will try to be in the cathedral to do morning practice, sacred movement and singing, chanting before the cathedral opens in the mornings to the public. And we will also have 2 evenings where we will spend in the crypt or the lower church, as well as walk the magnificent labyrinth that is in the cathedral. We will have a ceremony in the labyrinth in one of our evenings. During our week, we will also do dream work, which has been part of the program since the beginning of the Chartres Academy, the Ubiquity Chartres Academy. In the mornings, there will be dream work where you share your dreams, and by the end of the week, the people who are facilitating the dream work, led by Margot Borden, will be creating a thread between all the dreams. Dream work has been central to the experience in Chartres by the people who've joined us and those who have come from the beginning. It's a very beautiful process of experiencing what arises in our unconscious when we're there. We will do sacred dance. I will be leading the sacred dance and movement. We'll be exploring the sacred geometry through movement and dance. We will also do singing and sound journeys. We'll experience sound journeys. We will have evening programs, and also the chance to experience the magnificent light shows that are presented every evening, where the cathedral is lit up in amazing colors, accompanied with incredible music. It's literally like you step into a fairy tale. So during our time, you will have a lot of opportunity to explore the beautiful town of Chartres and spend time with friends and fellow seekers in the great cafes, and also immerse yourself in the cathedral. We will also visit the Mother Tree, which is for us, the Ubiquity Chartres Academy, quite central in Chartres. There's a real amazing connection between the tree and the cathedral that we will explore. So this is just some of the things that we will be doing there. I want to also invite now my dear friend Heather Ash Amara, who will be leading the she's the director of ritual, so she will be leading a lot of our ceremonies, creating together with volunteers, those of you who will hopefully volunteer to be on the ritual team, which is a great experience to really immerse yourself in the experience of Chartres. So Heather Ash, are you here? Can we have Heather Ash speak? There she is. I think that,
Hello.
yes.
Hey, everyone. Yay. Hello, love. So I'm tuning in from the wilds of New Mexico, and I'm so excited about the 2025 Chartres Academy and getting to dive into and rest into the waters of the mother. And one of the things that is so beautiful about the Academy is that there's an incredible blend of both the academic and the learning and the drinking in new information and insights, as Banochet said, of getting to go into the cathedral at off hours and getting to really be more intimate with that space. And we have a beautiful ritual team that comes together to help to really hold the container for our work there so that we can bring in the intellectual understanding and the big picture view of the river that we're in relationship to this incredible site of the mother. And then there's also this incredible holding circle of ritual, of doing ceremony. And we enter together into a ceremonial state where we can drop into our bodies, where we can open our hearts, where we can learn to really listen or continue to listen more deeply to the land, to honor that space. And I always think that this pilgrimage to France is a bringing of our bodies to a sacred place, and that we both are there to receive from the energy of Chartres and the cathedral, but we're also there to give. And I know that we're each drawn there to gift our own magic, to listen to what that space needs, because we bring our healing, our magic, our dedication, our devotion, and that energy is important for all sacred spaces to nourish the space and then to allow ourselves to be nourished as well. There's this beautiful reciprocity that we create through ceremony. So I'm honored to be part of the coming year's Academy, and I look forward to seeing many new friends as well as our folks that are returning again. Thanks so much. I'll pass back to Jim.
Thank you, Heather Ash. Banafshe, you ought to come in as well. Heather Ash, before you take off, I want to just ask you first, Heather Ash, to say something about the upcoming pilgrimage to Teotihuacan around the Day of the Dead. And then Banafshe, I know you've got an extraordinary course just starting with Shift Network. We want to hear about that as well. But let's start with Teo.
Beautiful. Thanks, Jim. Yes. So I have been blessed to study with Don Miguel Ruiz, who's the author of The Four Agreements, an incredible human, for over 20 years. And I take a couple, twice yearly pilgrimage to Teotihuacan. We went with the academy in June. Oh, so good. And then
That was so amazing. Thank you so much, Heather Ash. That was off the charts.
It was incredible.
oh, it's so beautiful. And I also lead a journey down there every Day of the Dead over October 28th through November 3rd. And so we do really incredible ceremony in the pyramid complex, as well as working with the village around the Day of the Dead. So we together build altars to our dead. There's a huge, beautiful parade and celebration. And it's this beautiful coming together of honoring those that have died before us, whether it's your ancestors or friends or other beings in your life that have been important, and learning how to celebrate and listen to the wisdom and to the messages and to the guidance of the ancestors. And then there's so much joy that happens in Mexico. Like Mexico, more than almost any culture, knows how to hold life and death and bring them together and celebrate both. So there is still a few spaces left in that pilgrimage. If anyone's like, I've been looking for something to do, check it out. You can go to warriorgoddess.com and it's on the front page there. Thanks so much.
It beats going and trick-or-treating in the neighborhood and getting a bunch of candy. So thank you for delivering us into the sacred on that completely secularized time of the year, when it's actually arguably the most holy, because that's when the veils between the worlds are the most thin. It's really extraordinary. So if you haven't been to Teotihuacan, everyone, with Heather Ash, first of all, but around the Day of the Dead, you should make yourself available to that. Now, Mon-Fri, I know that you are also on your own grand adventure with Shift Network, doing what you do in such an extraordinary way, and that is to teach the dance. So tell us about that.
Yes, so I have a 12-week course that meets on Thursdays, 10 to 11:30 a.m. Pacific time, with access to recordings so people can follow the replay anytime if that time doesn't work for them. We started last week, but people can still join. The last day to join would be next Thursday. Not next Thursday, but the following Thursday. So you can join and watch the first session in replay. The course is called Activate Your Body of Light with Sacred Dance. So we journey into really uncovering the spark of light, the divine spark that we're all born with, and letting it expand and grow through a journey through the chakras and Chinese medicine, learning about the meridians that correspond to each of the chakras. And for the first time, I'm also guiding people through, we're exploring the map of ascension as brought forth by Mary Magdalene in the Gospel of the Beloved Companion, the ascension through the great tree within, and finding correspondence between the different levels, the different boughs of this tree and the chakras, and through movement and dance, really integrating these two pieces, the chakra system and her map of ascension, as well as journeying into teachings of Rumi and other Sufi mystics. So this is a course that it's a deep immersion, really, but it's for mixed levels. So we have people who have no background in dance to professional dancers and teachers of movement. So yes, you're welcome to join. I will put the link in the chat here. And I think some of the people here are already in the course. So great to see you and everyone else too. You're welcome.
Thank you, Mon-Fri. And I just want to also touch on another event coming up next Sunday at 10 o'clock Pacific. So it's the same time. And that is Global Disclosure Day through the New Paradigm Institute and also Ubiquity University and other organizations from around the world. are coming together in the spirit of Earth Day that was established, as many of you may remember, in April of 1970, and continues to be an organizing principle and is becoming one of the few global holidays embraced by people everywhere. We decided we would do something around humanity's cosmic moment. Because as I've mentioned before, and all of us know, we are now being given incontrovertible evidence that ETs are here on planet Earth, and they've been here for some time. And we have an opportunity to interact with them. So we're bringing people together from all over the world. We have over 1,900 watch parties as of this morning being organized globally. It's going to be a 2-hour live free Zoom event. So I'm going to put it in the chat box. So if you just want to check it out and register for the event and just partake, it's going to be a little bit like Woodstock. They're going to lots of speakers and various things going on, all celebrating the beginning of humanity's cosmic moment. It's going to be quite a time. But the main thrust of this call, as it is every month, is Chartres and the upcoming pilgrimage next July 6th through 12. We continue to keep the pricing as low as we possibly can. If you look at other pilgrimages to other sites around the world, they're generally $3,000 to $4,000 plus travel and all the other stuff. And ours is just a little over $2,000 because we want to keep it as affordable as possible. And if you have any issues with payment and you want to work out a payment plan or anything like that, we are at your service, because the main thing is that you come. And we want to make that as affordable and as practicable as we possibly can. But I tell you, I guarantee you, when you finish 7 days with the program that Bon-Fri and Heather Ash described, in the center of which was Veda Austin on the living geometry of water, you will be transformed. Going to be extraordinary. It's going to be extraordinary. And so we'll be having Veda on our Humanity Rising. We'll have Bon-Fri and others on Humanity Rising over the next months as we prepare for this event. Thank you, everyone. It's been a wonderful time being present with you. And now, Bon-Fri, if you could come back in and just give us a little bit of a benediction to close us out, that would be a wonderful thing.
Sure, but first I wanted to know if people have any questions about the pilgrimage next year.
Oh, good idea.
If Katie Amran, who's still on the call, would like to say anything regarding registering and the details of.
Yeah, if you have any questions, you raise your hand, or you can just be in touch with Katie or me or Bon-Fri. I think most of you know the drill. Everything's pretty self-explanatory in the syllabus. We'll be meeting at the St. Charles, although we'll be probably staying both at the Maison Saint-Yves and hotels and Airbnbs around the city. So you have plenty of latitude to stay wherever you would like. But mark July 6th through July 12th on your calendars.
And there are more faculty members that will be joining us that we will put on the syllabus as soon as we get confirmation from them. And a journey after the pilgrimage as well, Jim, right?
Yeah, we haven't got that finalized yet, but we're sneaking up on it, and we'll be announcing that soon. The main thing we felt the priority was to get the Chartres pilgrimage up as quickly as possible.
There are some questions here.
Where do you find the syllabus?
Yes, I just put it back on. I just copy and pasted it again in the chat, Veronica. Well, wonderful. If there are no questions, then we will bring our call to a close. It's been a shorter call this time. By the time we meet next month, it will be after the US elections. So, anything you want to say about that, Jim?
Sure know how to scare a guy. That's right. I hadn't taken that in. Everybody needs to vote. Whatever you think about things, you got to vote. That's the
Please
one thing
vote.
you gotta do.
This is a very important election, obviously, as we all know. So please vote. Know that your vote will make a difference. And yes, so until next time, everyone, I wish you well. In these times that we're living in these times of war, it's very important that a community like ours keeps ourselves uplifted, keeps our own frequency high and elevated, thereby contributing to a different narrative in our world, a different narrative of peace and love and people who honor beauty, truth, and goodness. So until next time, remember that each action, each thought, each belief, each word that you hold and you take and you speak makes a difference. So let's together be dedicated to truth, beauty, and goodness that we hold so dear. Until next time, love to you all.
Thank you, Banafshe. Love to everyone. We'll see you in a month. Bye for now.